Insights with Terri Ep.242, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.242. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.242, and we are going to explore together the week of October the 19th through the 26th, 2025. Let's see what's being offered to us for this week, and maybe a little bit longer. We are in the energy field still of Libra. That's in the sun sign, and that's something that I find kind of nice with relationships. It's a partnership energy field. It rules the 7th house, and the 7th house is about home and family and partnership. Not quite as much as Cancer, but it's a good runner-up. Now that's going to change to Scorpio on the 24th of this week, and that's going to give us some deep thoughts, deep feelings. If you are prone towards sadness or depression, it may anchor that a little bit more in a heaviness. So just be careful and watch out. Keep yourself happy. See if you can find things that keep you motivated and moving forward and having some hope and something that you like doing, and you can look forward to it and keep yourself a little higher than some of the Scorpio energy, because there's a lot of Scorpio in this week. And then Mercury, the planet of our mind, how we think, how we communicate, that's in Scorpio. And Mars, the planet of our drive and our passion, is in Scorpio. Now, Venus, the planet of love, attraction, and beauty, is in Libra. So we're basically in almost a pure Libra and Scorpio energy field. What that's going to lend to us is maybe an opportunity to look at our relationships on the surface. So on the surface, we'll look and say, what's my relationship with my friend, my dog, nature? How am I relating to things around me? And am I putting myself in a good position? Do I feel happy? Is my dog happy? Are my kids happy? Am I happy? When we do a deep dive, that Scorpio can take us really, really deep, and I'm going to deal with that in 1 minute. We're going to have a new moon on the 21st. That is in Libra as well. So lots of Libra energy. That's on Tuesday. And what that will do is offer us an opportunity, new moon, new patterns, new reset possibilities, new ways of approaching things. So it's a really good energy field to start new. And so I will use that. It's not the time of the year for it, but I do like planting at the end of the new moon and just the beginning of a new sliver, because it's all new. If I want to maybe look at a habit that I have, maybe I use words that I don't want to use, or thinking patterns that I want to get rid of, this is the time to be aware of it and then start working through it. How can I change this? So it's a perfect opportunity for a reset, for our attitudes, our goals, our perception of everything, how we attend to things. It's really, really going to support you in that. Now, back to that Scorpio energy that I was talking about earlier. As I said, Scorpio is psychic, but it's a very deep, deep energy. So taking it deeper than the surface, when we look at our soul, now different religions have different takes on things, but I'm just going to give you my take. It's the only one I have. So because I've had the opportunity to do so many readings for so many decades, I don't have the attitude that I did when I was a child. I was raised as a Catholic, and in Catholic teaching, this is our only kick at the cat. It's our one life. But because I've had so many opportunities to deal with so many people with past lives coming up without being asked about it, well, if we have a past life, then there must be reincarnation. So we take that deep dive with Scorpio. Whether you believe in it or not, you can adjust the premise of what I'm talking to you about. So sometimes our soul, if we ascribe to reincarnation, and even if you don't, you can listen between the lines, can get caught in what seems like eternal loops, or you're doing the same situation over and over and over. And you can look at your own life and say, what keeps coming up for me? in this lifetime may also be tied to other lifetimes. And we're given these lifetimes to learn, to grow for our soul, to be able to live through and experience and be participating in. So if, for instance, in one lifetime, we are a person that abuses power in that lifetime, we may spend the next lifetime or another lifetime learning humility. If in one lifetime we withhold love and compassion, then maybe in another incarnation, when we return, we'll experience the pain of being unloved ourselves. If in one lifetime we pursue material wealth while ignoring spiritual development, then when we reincarnate at another time, doesn't have to be sequential, we'll experience poverty and maybe get to a place where we understand the true riches within ourselves. What really is riches? So each incarnation offers us the opportunity to break the pattern that we get stuck in and remake that pattern for growth. It'll offer us the opportunity to break the cycle. But the soul has to choose. Because we do gravitate, even in each lifetime, towards familiar patterns. And sometimes we tend to lean into familiar patterns over growth. So this is what makes learning so crucial, because sometimes we plateau. And we may, in that plateau, just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. I've said it to myself, how many times do I have to learn this lesson? Like, am I stupid? But let's take training animals. I'll maybe spend how much time training my dog to sit, and then go on to the down, and then you go down to the stand, and then you go to scent work, and then you go back and you ask them to sit, and they go, what? What's that? So in all of our learning as a being, sometimes we have to refresh ourselves. Sometimes we have to go through it more than once. And don't think you're failing. Don't think your soul is failing during a phase that maybe you have to repeat it. Think of it maybe as practice. You're just going over the same thing, so you're getting it really embedded. Don't think it at failing. That would be sad. So slowly and methodically, we're developing that spiritual muscle memory that's needed for lasting transformation, not just short term, lasting. So with the training again, I'll do a sit, a down, a stay, a stand, and then tomorrow I'll do a sit, a down, a stay, a stand, so that we're methodically developing that muscle. And so spirituality is the same thing, that spiritual muscle memory, so that we can automatically go to the right side of things. So each repetition builds understanding in a more complex and advanced way. So even when external progress seems minimal, like a musician practicing scales, your soul is developing. So that practice helps you with developing your soul, your skills. So with practice, we will, or we can, if we choose, develop the fundamental skills needed for more advanced spiritual work. And the time period that we're in right now is asking for that. They're not asking for simple right now. We're not going into a simple time. We're going into a complicated time. And we're going to need some advanced spiritual tools here. So the breakthrough moment often comes suddenly, maybe after dozens of lifetimes of repeated patterns. So please don't get mad at yourself if you just keep doing it in this lifetime and have to remind yourself. At least you're observing and you're reminding yourself, and you're getting a chance to practice. And then all of a sudden, bang, something clicks. And the soul finally chooses differently. I'm hoping it clicks with Trump pretty soon. And if any of you out there train animals, you know the feeling. You're trying to get this dog to maybe do a high five or some complicated type of trick or some maneuver, and you just can't get it through, or the dog keeps repeating the same mistake, and then all of a sudden something clicks, and it's like, oh yeah, the light bulb went on. If you're interested in I'm going to say developing some more informational way of looking at this, there's a book that I read a long time ago called Many Lives, Many Masters. And it was written by I'm trying to think, I don't know if she was a psychiatrist. I think she was, but I don't want to swear to it. And she started to document some of the sessions, with permission of course, that she was doing, because she didn't believe in any of this flu stuff, and because some of the clients just went into using hypnotherapy, just went automatically into regression. And then she started to get interested and started to research some of the information that was coming to her through her clients, and that prompted the book that she finally made, which was Many Lives, Many Masters. It's a decent book. So in that book, so to speak, there's a story about this soul, that this man, and they regressed him through hypnosis, not on purpose. It just was some of the side effect of regression and trying to retrain behavior patterns. And he went back to the 18th century America, and he was born into wealth. And he encountered a slave who showed him extraordinary kindness. And this slave, by him and his family, was treated very poorly. And yet that slave showed an extraordinary amount of kindness towards him. And that was his moment. That's when he recognized dignity. He recognized someone in society that was considered inferior treated him better than he who he considered superior to was better than him. And that broke the cycle forever. So that was a breakthrough incarnation for him. And he moved forward. And now in that next life, he was able to focus in his next incarnation on service and humility and recognizing the divine being in all beings. Because his soul had finally developed that spiritual reflex and the reflexes that it needed for conscious choice. There's a higher level of consciousness, and that's what's being offered to so many of us right now. With all the trials and the tribulations that we're going through, we're being offered this. And I'm seeing some huge shifts in paradigms for people, huge light bulb moments that I see people going through and taking advantage of. And then we get to make a conscious choice as to how do we want to react in that situation. Who are we? What do we want to be? How do we want to be thought of? So it's an opportunity, especially this week and maybe for a few more weeks, because we've got Scorpio working with us for a while, that deep dive. So we've got that energy field that's going to offer us the opportunity to really look deep at things and to be able to uncover maybe why we keep doing the same things or fall in the same holes or react the same way to the same situations. Is there another way? Is there a higher path that we can take? So it's going to be a very interesting week if we open our eyes, embrace the opportunities to learn, to grow, and be careful when you ask the universe to help teach you, because sometimes they have a sense of humor, and what they might think is an interesting lesson can really be difficult to get through. So tell them to be gentle. Make sure that you tell them, be gentle, I'm only human. So that's what we've got ahead of us, folks. I wish you a wonderful journey this week. this Scorpio energy, as I said, just be very careful. If you work naturally with leaning on the side of depression or extreme sadness, this heavier energy could contribute to leaning in that direction. And if you know that you do, take some steps to lighten things up for yourself as much as you can. Go play with the dog and throw a ball. The dog will make you laugh somehow, trying to get that big stick through the doorway. Or get out into nature, or do whatever it is that you have in tools that will help you be really glad that you're here. Just a happy, happy energy field. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Charlie O'Brien, who puts this up for us. And he's got us on Spotify and Apple iTunes, Amazon Music Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. And he has that radio station, the number 8, radio.com. He streams that live. It's all the 60s, 70s, 80s. That's the kind of music that'll make you happy. You can't be unhappy listening to that kind of music. In my day, the music of my day. So thanks again, Charlie, for doing this for all of us, and thank all of you for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy your lessons and make yourself happy. If you need a reading for yourself, or you need help with your dog or your animal, give me a shout. You can text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.